Hello and welcome to Who is Blank. Today I'm joined by Go4Broke as we discuss his debut EP, Meaningless. Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Hi, I'm doing amazing.
Do you want to give everyone a quick little introduction about who you are and the kind of music that you make?
Yeah, so I'm Go for Broke. My real name is Parker. And I make pop music. I think that kind of spans across a lot of different sounds. Um, and yeah, it's a little bit all over the place, but I think in a really cool way that somehow links all together, and I love it.
I'd love to know, how did the name Go4Broke come about? What kind of inspired that name?
So that name came about when I was, how old was I? I was probably 21.
Hmm.
I'm 24 now, so that was 3 years ago. And I had a different artist project that will
Hmm.
go unnamed because it's so bad. But I was realizing that I wanted to do something new, and I
Hmm.
really wanted to change it all, really change
Hmm.
everything. And so I. I remember I was at home with my family, and me and my sister were doing chores, like folding laundry or something, and I was having her help me with names. And I was so at that time I was so obsessed with having a number in the name. I don't know
Hmm.
why. I think it was kind of a thing around that time, like 2021. And I guess later than that, but regardless, um I was we were talking and nothing was good. None of the names we were coming up with were good. And then eventually she said it was her who said it. She was like,
Hmm.
you're kind of going for broke with this whole change or something. And I was like, wait, that sounds cool.
That's
And we
it.
could really easily put a number in that.
Yeah.
We could really so that was, I don't know, that it's not like the best story ever, but I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Credit to her, credit.
Yeah, no, of course. Shout out Presley. She did it. Yeah.
You mentioned you had a previous like artist project. You've been making music for quite a while, but when
Yeah.
you started Go for Broke, you kind of wanted to switch it up. What kind of inspired this new start?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was that I I loved making music, and I always really loved music, and I knew I wanted to make music, but I almost wish I took the advice of what pretty much every single person will tell
Mhm.
you, which is that hey, learn how to make music first and then
Mhm.
start releasing it. Because I was just first song, put that up there. I'm putting that out. And so a lot of it was just really not good, genuinely not good. But also, I refined my taste, I
Mhm.
think, a lot. Like the things I was listening to were different. I switched to Go for Broke right around the time that I was moving out of my childhood
Mhm.
home and living alone and doing things like that. And so I think it was also kind of like a change in who I was as a
Mhm.
person. Um, yeah, yeah, that feels it was pretty much just I was changing in many different ways, and that also had to lead to a name change or a whole brand change, honestly. And part of that was the name. But yeah, that's definitely what drove the change.
I think that's a good thing about being like an artist or creative person when you can feel yourself. Sometimes when you're changing, it's quite hard to put it into like a word or to a feeling. But as a musician, if you're going through this massive change, you can just create your art through that.
The art that I'm making continues to be about a lot of change too. I
Hmm.
feel like change is a big part of
Hmm.
all of it, all the time.
I was going to say, all the songs on the CP, they all kind of have a heavy meaning behind them, but they're relatable experiences that every young person has gone through, and you can feel it through how big the production is and the lyrics. What is it like as a musician to make such personal music and then put it out into the world?
Yeah, it feels really good. I think all of my music up until this point with being Go for Broke
Mhm.
has been very much that style. Even when the production is kind of over the top, I have talked about a lot of my own experiences,
Mhm.
whether they're relatable or not. And I think I only really get excited about music if it is like that. And so this project was a little bit different because I feel like it was the first time that I not only put these feelings out there, but I put them together
Hmm.
into like a kind of like cohesive it's the closest I've gotten to cohesive
Yeah.
project. And it feels really good. I think it feels really good. I've been waiting to share this for months. I've had a good amount of the songs
Hmm.
done since like September, and I've just been, I don't know, getting ready to put them out, and I love them.
What's it like being in that waiting period and then suddenly they are out? Is that really weird that they're not just yours anymore?
Yeah, that part's definitely weird. I really enjoy I enjoy seeing how people like react to them
Hmm.
or like how people interpret them because I think like also like I think I'm being super clear maybe and then like I realize like oh maybe I was not being clear at all about what that meant or what this meant. But regardless, it doesn't really matter. Like
Hmm.
I'm a believer in that like whatever somebody takes away from a song is what that song is about and it should just be about that to that person and not change. I don't think I don't need to like lecture people on how to like react to my music. And I don't know, it's cool. It's a really cool thing to see. And then also like even like I'll like be like, oh, this is gonna do the best. Like this one's gonna
Hmm.
be the people who hear its favorite. And then I'm just so wrong, like every single time. Like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've never been accurate on this. Like it's never happened.
What's
Right.
that like when you think, oh, this song, this is gonna be the one, but like everyone just kind of chooses the one you're like, oh, okay, that's a surprise.
So like as yeah, usually like as long as one of them is the one that people are happy about, it's like cool. But if like it's like a just if it's just the bad side of it, it can be like pretty like, oh, really? Like no, but I don't know. It's just kind of like I don't know. Like I love the art and I've learned in the last like I feel like year or
Hmm.
two to be like really just accepting of like I can't force this upon
Hmm.
people. It's me putting it out. Like I love it. I'm proud of it. And however it's received is how it will be received. And I kind of just I think I used to get in my head about it like
Hmm.
a lot, like so much. And like part of this EP is like kind of about that emotion.
Hmm.
And like I I don't know. I'm better about it now. I'm healthier. I think I just grew up. Yeah.
Did creating the EP help you kind of separate your music, kind of reaching for validation, but you eventually being like, I like this music, I'm making the music for me, what will be, will be. Did the EP help with that?
It did a lot. Because making the EP, regardless of it being out or not, even before it came out,
Hmm.
I think I was just so happy with it,
Hmm.
where it was one of these things. It was definitely the proudest I'd ever been of my
Hmm.
music. And that feeling alone was like, wow, like imagine 5 or 6 years ago,
Hmm.
I was making like this terrible music. If I had heard the music that I just made, I would have I would have just been proud of myself. And
Hmm.
that's like a huge step for me and it makes me happy and learning that like learning that that happiness is like more than enough is like
Hmm.
a really important I don't know, it was like an important part of making this
Hmm.
EP, I think. I think it came with this EP. I mean, one of my friends and someone who produced on some of these songs, Jasper
Hmm.
Hugh Goldberg. He he's significantly younger than me and so much wiser than me because I was like complaining about like how things were going or
Hmm.
something. And like I've been like on a job hunt and all these things and just like tired all the time. And I was like, I just don't know when I'm ever gonna have time to make music. Like I'm literally gonna be like so
Hmm.
busy all the time. I'm still busy right now. I'm constantly busy. And he was like, yeah, but you know, like once you're a little busier, you're just gonna start making better music. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, because you're just gonna like stop thinking about all the bullshit you're constantly thinking about. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Like you're so right. And I don't know. I'm very thankful he said that to me.
Kind of
Kind of.
take the pressure off and just making music because you want to make music, not because you think you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it should be. I don't know
Mhm.
why I ever acted like that wasn't what I was doing. Like that, the thing is, like, I was making it because I wanted to
Mhm.
anyway, and then adding extra pressure to it for some reason. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you could just do one of them and
Mhm.
like totally skip the added pressure step. And
Mhm.
I'm starting to do that, and it's making it so much more fun. Like, yeah, I love it more.
I was gonna say, I think as a creative, that you start doing something because you enjoy doing it, like making music, and then suddenly you're like, wait, this has to be the best music it ever has to be. But
Yeah.
like, you're the only person who thinks that. Everyone else is just enjoying what you're making.
Yeah, no, like literally exactly that feeling. I don't know. It was an important one for me to
Mhm.
get. And maybe I was a little late to it, but I'm glad I got there.
I'd love to talk about the title track because I think it really does capture the theme of the EP that you're kind of, I don't know if it was intentional, but it does seem like the EP is just kind of, to me, especially as a young person in their 20s, just being like, what is going on? What am I doing? And I feel like you can hear that in it. How do you go about capturing like such intense feelings?
That one was a very like uniquely
Hmm.
written song because I this year for this EP was the first time that I ever worked with like a different like I've produced all my music up until this
Hmm.
point, and then recently I was like, all right, let me try something new, and started singing on songs that other people produced.
Hmm.
And this one was one of those. It was a session that I had with a producer named Riley Akey, and he basically I don't even know. Like I got to his house. I remember I was having like a terrible day, like
Hmm.
just a genuinely awful day. And I had also, for distance reference, like I live in Los Angeles right now, but
Hmm.
my family lives in San Diego,
All
which is about
right.
a 2 hour drive.
Hmm.
And I was coming from my family's house like directly to
Hmm.
this session. So it was like a 2 hour drive.
Hmm.
And I was just like in the worst mood. Like I was like telling like my family before, like I think I'm gonna like not like I need to call out of this one. Like I don't want to
Oh.
go. Um, but I don't know, like something I still
Hmm.
went, and the whole drive I was like just on repeat listening to Calico by Ryan Beatty.
Okay.
And I I was just like I don't know what it was about that moment and that album in that moment
Hmm.
on that drive, but I couldn't turn it off basically. And I got to Riley's house, and he was like, "What do you want to make today? Like, what do you want to do?" And I literally I just said like, "I don't know. I have no clue." And I kind of just sat on the couch, and I was like, feel free to start something. I'll try and like chime in whenever I have an idea. And he kind of started playing around with like he started doing like the production for the first part of
Hmm.
the song, which is a little bit more like intense,
Hmm.
obviously. And I was like writing over it, like melodies and maybe a couple words here and there. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm kind of getting something. But then we kind of like, because I knew that I didn't want to have like this big song across the board. Like I didn't want
Hmm.
like a soaring chorus, like over like a bigger beat or
Hmm.
something. And I hadn't even like communicated that to him, but he just like did it. Like he just
Hmm.
like immediately started making a softer part to that chorus. And I was like, oh wait, this is like perfect. I like immediately amount like the melody for that chorus hit me like a wave, like a
Hmm.
tidal. Like, I don't even know. It was like immediate. And the second that I had that, I kind of knew what I was feeling that day, like just in the shitty mood and
Hmm.
everything. And I don't know, the meaningless shit just came immediately. I had been feeling so like just drained, and like
Hmm.
I couldn't find the reason for anything. And um yeah, I don't know. That was like pretty much that song came very, very quick after that though.
Hmm.
Like we probably he produced for maybe 3 hours total,
Oh,
and then
wow.
I wrote through that. Like I finished the song like while he was producing it, and then we recorded it that night, and it has never been touched ever since. That was a
Oh,
one day we
wow.
sat down, made it, and that was it. Song. It was great. It was really
Very
cool.
much a heat in the moment song. It sounded like
Yeah.
you needed to make that song, but you didn't know you needed to make that song.
Yeah, it was my legitimately I after I made that song, that was the best I had ever felt about a song that I had made, I think. I don't even know. Like I think that that's changed. It's been quite a few months. Like I'm
Hmm.
excited about a lot of stuff now, but like that song is and was so special to me in that moment. It still is so special, but like yeah, it just feels different than the rest of my music, I think, in like a great way.
Hmm.
I don't know. I love it.
Is that why you made it kind of the title track? Because of how special it
Yeah,
is?
it felt like
Mhm.
it had to be. Like there was no other, yeah, there was no other track that I think I, I mean, obviously, like I connected with all of them, like I
Hmm.
made all of them, but like that one felt weird because it felt like someone else. It was like in that moment, someone else had made that song, and
Hmm.
then like I became a fan of that song
Oh,
for like
yeah.
a moment. Like it was really cool. Like that was the first time that I think that was the first time that not only did I like my own music, but I was
Hmm.
like a fan of my own music. I was like, whoa, I really love this song. Like this song is like crazy. Yeah,
Is
that
that
one.
quite like a weird experience to go through? Like, because obviously, like you like everything you make, but to then be like, this song, was that kind
Yeah.
of like a turning point in making this EP?
For sure. I mean, I think I've always, and I feel like what I just said about that song makes me
Hmm.
sound so like self-righteous.
No, not
But
at all.
I love that that song was for sure a turning point. I think I've always
Hmm.
been super self-conscious about everything that I've put out,
Hmm.
every song I've made, regardless of it coming out, because there's a lot of bad stuff that doesn't come out. Um, and I've always just been super critical. Um, and then that song was like, I don't know. I just, that wall never came up. There was
Hmm.
never a question about that song where I
Hmm.
feel like other songs that I've put out, like I have like oh, maybe this, maybe that. Like this one was just like, in my mind at least, I was like, I don't want this to change
Hmm.
even in the slightest. Like we booked a second session after that session that we made it as like yeah, we'll just come back to it
Hmm.
and finish it up kind of thing, like as if we hadn't finished it in that moment. And we came back that second session and listened to it like 3 times, like almost like trying to find the problems.
Yeah.
So what do we want to change? Like, what about this? And then like after like listening to it, you're just like, no, I think that
Wow.
has to be it. Like,
Hmm.
I don't think we should change it. It's gonna come off weird, or it's gonna like change it in a weird way.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It was a turning point where I think after that song, I am so much more confident in the
Hmm.
music I've been making. Like there's just something about that one that showed me like, oh, I can do this.
Hmm.
I'm not, it's not meaningless, you know? It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that one felt really, really special.
I'd love to talk about posters on the absolute kind of
Mhm.
flip side. It's a lot
Yeah.
quieter, it feels a lot more personal. Is that kind of a sound that you want to continue with, or is it kind of merging that and meaningless together?
It's kind of crazy to say, but that song was the first song I made for
Oh,
this project.
wow.
And it was made 2 years ago
Hmm.
when I was graduating college.
Hmm.
I had, I mean, I hadn't finished it, but I had written it,
Yeah.
and like come up with, I mean, I produced that one too. That's the only one on this project that's just self-produced
Hmm.
by me. Um, and I don't know, that one was also really special for me because I think I've always like chosen to do like this synthier or like more electronic-y stuff,
Hmm.
not because it's not easier, and I don't want anyone who is in the electronic space to get mad at me for saying that. but I think I always like really doubted myself
Hmm.
with live instruments and like playing it where it's like I can have really good creative ideas production wise and then just like kind of like type it in sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like when it comes to live instruments, like
Hmm.
I need to actually be good at those, like in the moment, like
Yeah.
live. And I was very self-conscious of myself, even though like I can play instruments and I've
Hmm.
been doing it since I was like a young child. And I finally, with that one, I guess, that one and the one that came out last year, what's it called? Remember Winter. I
Hmm.
almost forgot the name of my own song. Remember Winter. The two of those were kind of like being written at the same time.
Hmm.
And Posters felt like more special than Remember Winter. And
Hmm.
I think that's why I held on to it because I was like, I feel like this can be better. I need to give it more time. That's why it took 2 years to make it, which is that's crazy. It shouldn't have taken me 2 years to make it. But I do want to go more in that direction. I
Hmm.
think that is like kind of the point of it being the last track on the
Hmm.
project. And I'm not trying to get away from like the electronic stuff. I
Hmm.
think what it is it's more that I grew up listening to like more like that style of
Hmm.
music and things like that. And then I feel like at some point when I was in college or something like that, I like tried to do an identity change in a sense. Like I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
change everything about myself and do this. And don't get me wrong, like I love electronic music.
Hmm.
That is a huge part of who I am. But I think I leaned too far on that side with my own personal taste, where I'm learning to take that taste in music and kind of like merge it into
Hmm.
the more like band sounding, like guitar driven or piano driven music. And I think I'm better at it too. Like
Okay.
when I listen to all of the songs, I think I always come back to Posters just being like, that one's really, really nice. Like every single time I just kind of like that one. And yeah, I don't know. The things that I've been making to like come after
Hmm.
this EP are they're pretty Posters sounding, I would say. But I think with still like a hint of Meaningless. I think what
Yeah.
Meaningless was for me was the perfect crossover. Like if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I look at that song as like, oh, I found the middle ground
Hmm.
between the electronic and folky, whatever. Like I said, I was listening to Ryan Beatty the whole way up on that drive. So it was like that chorus is I'm not gonna pretend it's so like Ryan Beatty inspired. I can't sing like the guy, but like it's really nice. Like I love that chorus. And it's for that reason. So yeah, I don't know. I yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot more like band sounding or
Hmm.
like live sounding music, but obviously with a lot of electronics going on, that's kind of sound design is like one of my favorite parts of the whole process.
You said Post is the only track that's self-produced. What is it like working with other people and producing? Has it really just like kind of opened up a whole new world for you?
Yeah, it has. Because like I said, like I had always produced. Like I
Hmm.
was always the only producer, and that
Hmm.
was kind of like what it just was. And then starting to do sessions this year and last year a little bit really like showed me how much more special and exciting it is
Hmm.
to make music with other people. I think I was just scared. I am such a terrible like I get so scared of what people are gonna think about
Yeah.
me or like what I'm doing in the room. And that was definitely what kept me from doing it
Hmm.
forever. And then like at the ripe age of 23, I start working with people for the first time, which that's kind of sad. But regardless, working with those people really showed me like how beautiful
Hmm.
like collaboration on music is. And honestly, it makes the music more special. And yeah, I don't know. My biggest takeaway is I've learned to like kind of take my hands away from a
Hmm.
project and like what I do in these sessions is I try as hard as I can to basically like keep my mouth shut for like the first like 2 or 3 hours of the session and let that person like basically put what is their idea into it. And like obviously like there's still conversation and stuff
Yeah.
happening around like what we should do. But my whole thing is like that person is like gonna have an idea that I could not have.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not gonna be what we settle on, but I know for a fact whatever they do is likely something that I wouldn't have done, and that's what's gonna make it special in this
Yeah,
song.
100%.
And so I try and find those moments that are like perfect that I was like, damn, I never would have thought of that, and then like leave it in the song. Like those are like always the most special parts of songs. And yeah, I've just become obsessed with that feeling of like having someone else's like touch in the song.
Hmm. It sounds like this EP has really helped you grow, not only as an artist and help you find a sound that you want, but like as a person outside of Go for Broke as well.
Like a lot. I think I've always been a pretty anxious person
Hmm.
and like choosing to do things or not do things because of my fear about those things or just
Hmm.
anything in that area. Um, but this EP has made me realize that I guess what it made me realize, and this isn't to be too on the nose, but it's like with with everything being kind of meaningless as the
Hmm.
takeaway of my EP, um, there's no point in being afraid
Hmm.
because it's all gonna not matter
Hmm.
anyway. You should just do it because why not? Something good might come from it. Because I do think the overarching thing with my music is that like yeah, it is kind of like things are kind of pointless, but like that doesn't mean they have to be pointless in
Hmm.
your perspective or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you can find meaning in it or create meaning in it, or it just doesn't have to be big meaning. I don't know. Like I think that that was like the big lesson for me, whereas like I'm allowed to do things because I want to do them. And there's no point in being afraid of those things because they are kind of meaningless. But at the same time, you can find meaning in them. So I don't know.
I think this EP is going to be really good for anyone who's kind of like yourself, struggled with anxiety of their whole life. Because I feel like anxiety, it gives you, there's someone in your head telling you you can't do things because you enjoy it. You can only do things if it serves a purpose. And I think this EP is a really good way of just being like, no, there's joy in life. Not
Yeah.
everything matters to be this big thing has to be perfect. Just go and be imperfect.
Literally, like you said it so much more clearly than I could have just said it. That was so much better. Oh my God, use that. That's so much better. No, that's yeah, that's exactly. I agree so heavily with exactly what you just said. I think being okay with the imperfections and accepting your imperfections is kind of what this whole thing is about.
Mhm.
And it's kind of what all my music is about. I feel like I continue to write music about these topics, and this EP is just the first time that it's all in every single part of it. Like it's like a
Mhm.
group project, but like I don't know. Like yeah, that was beautiful. That was such a good way of
Thank
saying it.
you. Is there a track that you think people will relate to or will kind of keep coming back to? Or, like you said earlier, it's impossible to predict?
I think it's impossible to predict. To be fair, Nowhere has kind of proven to already be that one.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I think Meaningless is going to connect with people. I
Hmm.
have this feeling about it. I think I don't know. It feels like to me it's I mean when I played it for all my friends
Hmm.
before it came out, not even all my friends. Like there is a like small list of friends who kind of like get to hear it before it comes out. It was like three people. But like my one like best friend from high school, I remember I sent him the EP and he only commented on that song. And I was like, okay, like
All
listen to the rest of it. But I was glad that he liked that one. And then like I remember my mixing engineer,
right.
Matinicus, he was like he was when I sent him that one to mix, he literally just said like, "This is so cool." Like I that was like because he usually like likes my music, but that was like
Yeah.
the first time that I got like a like just like a separate like
Yeah.
this one's crazy. Like I could do more with this. So yeah, I think Meaningless, yeah, I think that's the one that's gonna resonate with
Mhm.
people. I think it's just like a it sounds different, it feels different. I don't think it can really all that easily be boxed into a genre. That's kind of why I call my music pop, because pop
Yeah.
feels so broad that it can
It
just like it can kind of just slide in
can
there
do whatever it
somewhere.
wants.
Yeah, exactly. And that track was the first time that I was like, oh, that's a Go for Broke song. Like that's what my sound is, and I want to figure out what that is. Yeah, I love that song so much. It was so cool.
To wrap this interview up, I'd love to know if you've got any recommendations for any emerging artists that people should be listening
Oh,
to if they aren't listening to them.
yeah, I do. I definitely do. Uh, Here we go. Someone that I love. I actually I don't even like I don't know her, so I hope this doesn't come across as like creepy. But I think she's like literally so amazing, and she hasn't put out music for a while, so I'm really hoping she's going to. And I guess this is me like manifesting that.
Please.
But her name is Matilda Marigold, and
Hmm.
she's like so crazy. Like she's so cool. And a really great artist is a guy named Cuomo, who's
Hmm.
gaining some steam right now. Really cool. Um, really like August James's music.
Hmm.
Um, oh my gosh, like there's more though. That is just so crazy.
If there's
Why am I
any more you
forgetting?
think of, I'll just put them like here. Listen to all
Yeah,
these people.
that would be amazing. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I will send you like a list
You
if
do
that's
that.
okay. Because I feel like there's just so many people. Like
Hmm.
and I feel so bad. I'm just like not
Yeah.
thinking of my homies right now. Like my homies are like the best ones. Oh, he totally different genre than me. Rapper Kari Kira, really
Hmm.
cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like blinking. I'm dying.
No, I
Oh,
never
Jacob
agree.
Daly. Jacob
Hmm.
Daly. That's maybe like top one for
Top.
me.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and you can quickly shout out your socials and where people can find you.
Yeah, wow, that was terrible. My profile is Go for Broke Music on all platforms, and the four is the number four. I feel like I still need to kind of like clarify that because it does just sound like I'm saying it. But yeah, I'm Go for Broke Music everywhere.